I got approached by Nike. Currently, I'm the national British Championship record holder, the 60 metres, and my PB 7.38, and I'm number one.
This is Evolve Your Health Beyond the Bench, a podcast dedicated to everything fitness, health, and adventure. This is your time to evolve.
Celine, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
We're going to talk all things running and sprinting today. So, first thing, I suppose, how did you get started? What was your first step into running?
When I was in primary, I started doing like sports day, primary school competitions and stuff, and it was like my head teacher and my school teachers that like told my parents as well
That you were a bit quicker than everybody else in the region. Was it natural for you? Did you enjoy it, or did you think that it was something you had to start to pursue?
I really enjoyed it, yeah, and I still do now. Yeah.
Very good.
So you're 14 now, is that it? And you were recently competing against when you say up to 17-year-olds, does that mean there could be 17-year-olds in that?
It's people who are under.
So from your teachers seeing you on sports day thinking she's fast, let's inform our father, to now being the national champion 60 metres, is that correct?
I think it's quite important, and to probably backtrack a bit, maybe one of the earlier questions, or the first question I should have asked is, where are you now in terms of rank structure, I suppose? Is it rank structure?
Yeah, she's ranked number one in the UK, 160.
Currently, I'm the national British Championship record holder for the 60 metres, and my PB 7.38, and I'm number one.
And recently you broke a couple of records as well, and I think I read that they'd stood for around 30 years. So records that were about long before you were born.
Yeah.
Did you know you were in contention to beat those records on that day, or did you find out after you'd already broke the record?
It was after I ran that I found out what my time was that I did.
When everyone was standing with the jaw down on the ground somewhere.
Feel like you got a good time, or was it just another run?
When I was running, it was after the race, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. So you start your teachers seeing that in sports day you were fast. When was your first competition?
It was when I was in year 3.
Year 3. I mean, you're still young now, and you're competing against up to 17-year-olds, and you've just beat them all in the 60 metres national champion.
Well, I think quite important to remember she's not just beat everybody at the run, she beat everybody for the last 30 years that's attempted it as well.
What's your next competition from now, where you're at?
July and August, like English schools and the nationals outdoors are coming up. Yeah, in July and August. Yeah.
Right.
What's your preparation for that? How do you train up to what's that, 4 months? So what's your training schedule looking like for the next 4 months, with the fact that you're also preparing for GCSEs?
It's quite hard, but with like the help of like my parents, my friends, my teachers at school, like they help me to understand what I've not like been learning, because like when I've run like competitions, like I wasn't at school, but they helped me catch up. So
there's quite a lot of support in the school. Is there anything they're doing, I suppose, special for you? They're giving you extra time or any additional support in terms of that? Or?
They help me quite a lot with like revision and stuff like that, yeah.
So do you run for a club outside of school, or is it all school based at the minute?
My club is outside of school, but for English schools I run for Durham.
Does eating take a toll? Can you eat what you want? You have a few takeaways over the weekend?
You're still young. You can't eat what you want when you're young.
In theory, yeah. Well, how does your diet look? What you go to meals?
I really love pizza.
Fair enough. Yeah. We'll call that the work-life balance. Do you eat at school? Do you go to like kind of normal school lunch?
I quite like to be honest, like I really like junk food, so.
So she eats pizza, doner kebab. Now and again she'll have chicken in a burger, and that kind of thing. What about pre-race day? Do you carb load for things? I mean, 60 metres is quite explosive, isn't it? So.
I I eat quite similarly to like what I normally eat.
You turn up on the day and just boss it.
Do you get have you had any kind of education on nutrition? I know you're young and you can get away with eating what you want, and you're probably just like, right, I'll just run to there. That's probably your strategy when you're 14 years old. If you're fast, it's just a case of getting from A to B as fast as possible. But what about, have you learned anything about energy systems or anything like that in school? I mean, that might come later in life as you get more experience and you start maybe the Olympics.
I don't.
She just wants pizza.
She just wants pizza.
just have chicken on your pizza. You got to have 5 a day, so onions, maybe some sweet corn with through like.
How old do you have to actually be to go in the Olympics?
You have to be 16 in November.
16, so 2 years.
Has that been mentioned yet?
The next Olympics I think is 2026. No,
28.
8. Yeah.
You should be 18 by then.
Is that what you're aiming for?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not an Olympic expert, but Olympic athlete, amateur. Is that right?
Yeah.
But you're going down a route of potentially high-level elite professional sport.
I'm not sure how the Olympics works in that way, 'cause I know boxing, it's amateur boxing in the Olympics, but I know if you're a professional, you can still fight in it, but as an amateur, I'm sure that's how it works. I'm not 100%.
So I suppose Celine was sitting at school one day doing some maths and English and things, and all of a sudden the penny dropped and you thought, actually, I'm in this quite deep. I'm not doing sports day anymore. This is starting to get a bit more serious. When did that happen for you?
I started doing like running for a club like in 2022, but it was like towards the end of the year, and I did 2 competitions and 4 events, but then it was in 2023 that I started to do like go to like bigger competitions and stuff. So
You're not allowed to run on sports days anymore, or?
Yeah, well, that's quite a valid question, though, isn't it? Do you take part in sports day? Because
for my school, I've run competitions.
does anybody else bother coming?
Do you just take it light, just jogging?
Yeah, it would be. I wonder if the teachers put bets on behind closed doors. Obviously not officially, but yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's really good to hear that. Obviously, I suppose the pressure's on in terms of GCSEs and training and things, but you're still enjoying it. And I think that's quite evident in your approach when you watch what you do, and other people have picked that up. You're wearing certain colours at the moment. For the people that's just listening and not watching the videos, we've got a big tick on your right-hand side. How did that come about?
When I did one of my competitions, I got approached by some people who wanted to sponsor me for Nike. Yeah, Nike wanted to sponsor me, so they did.
How did you feel at that
Really
moment?
happy.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's especially you're so young as well, and they want to sponsor you, so they're seeing the potential in you. So they obviously approached you to sponsor you because they thought there's a lot of potential, not just now but for the future. So did you see that potential in yourself before you got approached by any kind of sponsors?
When they came up to me, I felt really encouraged and really happy.
So that encouraged you to keep going. Yeah. What keeps you motivated then? Because you're a 14-year-old, and I know there's a lot of young 14, 15, 16-year-olds who could potentially go somewhere with anything, whether it's athletics or anything else, but they start wanting to hang about their friends a little bit more. How are you finding that? Do you still go out with your friends a lot, or is it just trying to zone in on your sprinting?
My friends, my family, my team and everyone, they encourage me, so
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I suppose quite a lot of your friends, I would imagine, are part of the athletics club and that kind of thing anyway, there.
Yeah, I have friends inside of school, outside of school, in training as well.
So do any of your friends that's not involved in sport come and support you if you were running locally and things? Or
They support me.
it's really good, isn't it?
That's good. So you're 14 years old now, and you're coming on to do your GCSEs. Have you got a backup plan? I'm not saying that sprinting's not going to work out for you, but what's your aspirations aside from going to the Olympics? I mean, you're still 14, so you've still got a lot of figuring out to do, like any kid does. I've got a son who's just turned 16. He's in the last year of school, and I ask him, like, what do you want to do when you leave school? And he's leaving school in 3 months, and he's like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to get him on to do the fitness route of what I went down, but he still doesn't know, and he's got about 2 months left in school.
How is sport in school in terms of a subject? So, like, kind of anatomy, physiology, sports science, that kind of thing. So,
In school, for my GCSE options, I've picked business studies and IT. Yeah.
and Dad, how is your view on our schoolwork, I suppose, affected by the sport?
Yes, we are just surprised and very impressed that she is able to balance them. For her to be in set one for most, especially science subjects, tells you how clever she is. Because I can't do what she's doing and still combine them very well with school. So she's just gifted.
People who are watching, Celine's dad's actually behind the cameras, but he is mic'd up. Do you ever feel that you're a part of our success or not?
Yes, I think it's as she rightly said, it's a team effort. Herself to begin with, I give all credit to her, because I know so many kids who started the training with her, and not many of them are still there. And look at where she is, making them for herself. Then the coaches are just phenomenal, just as.
I wanted to come on to that because naturally from primary school age, people discovered a raw talent, but that can only take you so far, can't it? The rest comes from, I suppose, mindset development and how you can excel from that side of things. So naturally that drops down to things like coaching staff and experience on the track, I suppose. So is there any particular minute with your coaching staff that really stands out, and anything that you've really found kind of helpful in terms of expertise or getting some progression?
My team, I'm really grateful to them because they always encourage me, and they really encourage me a lot.
Is there anybody you want to give a nod to?
Everyone in general, my friends, my family, my coaches, my manager, my sponsors, my team, everyone.
Who's your manager? Who's your head coach? Who's your sponsors?
My coaches are Richard Kilty and Scott Hall, and my manager is Danny Talbot.
So you're sponsored by Nike, but have you got any other sponsors?
I'm sponsored by Chloe and Liam as well, yeah.
Chloe and Liam? What's
The foundation, Liam from is it Newcastle, like they said, they were unfortunately they were passed during the Manchester bombing.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so because their parents have established a foundation to support young athletes or performers like Celine,
good.
and they've been able to provide Celine with some funding last year. So they've been amazing, and Nike and is he the nutrition, is he?
Domino's Pizza.
I was about to say, is it a pizza shop? So, when you cross the line, there's a domino.
That's all well and good with somebody. We'll maybe leave that one on the side.
So you're the 60-metre national champion for under 17.
A record holder.
The record holder, I keep forgetting about.
Yeah.
The record holder of all time, 60-metre national champion at 14 years old. Are you planning on running 80, 100 metres? Or are you sticking to 60?
I've run the 60 metres, 100 metres, 200 metres and 300 metres, yeah.
What's your 100 metre time?
For the 100, I did 11.7.
Wow.
What's the furthest you've ever run? Just even if it's just recreationally for yourself on a Saturday morning, or?
In a competition, the furthest I run is 300 metres.
And for yourself, have you been out and done a couple of miles before? Do you tend to stick to quite short, sharp runs?
It's whatever I get in training, yeah.
Do you do resistance training and stuff like that?
It depends on what my coaches give me to do.
A bit of a funny one, isn't it? At 14-year-old, we've got that bone growth, and the younger people shouldn't do a weights type in inverted commas thing and whatever else. So yeah, I think it's a one that you take maybe some lead from your coaches and just kind of nod and go with it.
So when you're at your running club, have you got any competition there? Like someone who you look up to?
All my friends there really push me and stuff, yeah.
Are you faster than them? Are you faster than your friends? She doesn't want to say it. It's like, yes.
Part of a push out from a loudspeaker at the back as she disappears in the mist. If anybody's listening in and they're inspired by your story or they're an aspiring sprinter, is there any go-to exercise or any advice that you'd give them?
I'd encourage them to listen to their parents and like those around them who support them, and to like keep on doing their best and enjoy what they're doing.
That's for you, Mark. That's for my son. Listen.
That's a key thing, isn't it? You know, we see it time and time again in a gym setting where you've just said there, enjoy it. And there's certain sports, especially within the UK, that's massively populated, should we say, and there's a lot of people put pressure on the kids, in particular the sons, to play certain games, and a lot of the time they're not enjoying it, but they get up on a Saturday morning and play it because dad says they've got to go and play it, and potentially that's a problem, isn't it? So I think enjoying it's certainly really important.
So, Dad, did you, like she said earlier on, she was in sports day, she ran round, looped round everyone, and her teachers approached you. Did you ever see a potential before that, or?
Quite frankly, we know it was in the gene. It has been in the gene, but the very day that the teacher rang me and asked if I was coming to pick her up from school, she was in primary 3. I wasn't meant to be the one to pick her. It was supposed to be my wife. But then when I got that call, I said to my wife, "Don't worry, I will go." Probably she has hit another child at school. But it turned up that the teacher said to me that she was in year 3 against boys in year 6, and she beat all of them. She was able to beat them. So in a 100 meters race, so the teacher said, no, this is uncommon. So the teacher advised me to go and register her in a sprinting club. And the first attempt to do that wasn't possible because that was the pandemic, around that pandemic. So she had to wait for another 3 years for the pandemic, for the lockdown and restrictions to be over. So that was why she didn't start as early as she should have started. She started around 13. She started competing at 13, so we are surprised she's able to do this.
What's your next competition? It's 4 months, did you say?
You're competing in 7 weeks.
Will you go for the world? Is there like, I know the Olympics is the world, but is there actually a separate thing, like world championships?
Yes, next year she'll be busy. Hopefully she'll be traveling all over the world. She has events in Los Angeles and Eugene, the World Under 20. She'll be 16, but I'm sure she will go there and wow them. She'll be 16 then, World Under 20 Championship, and then there is also Commonwealth Games in Glasgow the same next year. Then there's World Junior Olympics in Dakar, Senegal.
Because I don't know what the path would be to the Olympics. I'm not sure, so I guess it's what you've just explained right there.
Have you ever done anything along the lines of any sports science testing now? So have you been and done any kind of gait analysis? Have you been in a lab yet, or anything along those lines, like a sports science lab?
I've not been in a sports science lab, no.
I mean, I'm guessing you will eventually at some point. It's a bit like, why is she so fast?
It's a funny one, isn't it? Because although from a sports science point of view, there might be benefits from that, I suppose they don't want to overwhelm you with it. I mean, you're very professional in your approach with it, but inevitably you're still young, aren't you? So I suppose there's a little bit of crossover there in letting you live your time and eat your pizza and things, and take it serious enough to go and win some world championships.
Has any other sport ever took your fancy? Have you ever thought, I might have a go at that?
I've done different sports and PE.
But you've never thought, I want to try and do that ever? You just thought sprinting?
I've only done sprinting and other competitions.
Yeah.
I suppose one of the last questions I want to ask really is to Dad. So if it was Friday night in the home environment and the shop's about to shut and you need 2 pints of milk, who do you send? Celine.
Of course.
Celine, thanks very much for coming down.
I
appreciate it.
Thanks
and,
to Dad for bringing you
best
down.
of luck with your career path.
Thank you.
And we'll hopefully get you back in when you've won your next competition or all the competitions.
Is there anything you'd like to add in?
Well, just to thank you, especially the gym, Evolution Gym, has been fantastic in supporting us. From the first day we came here, it's not many people who will come here that will receive it, or not everywhere you go you receive the kind of welcome that we did. The smiley faces, how the friendliness of the staff and the gym goers, the users. So I know originally we struggled to use some equipments, but people were very fast to show us how to use them. So that has kept us going. Also, the support from Mickey, the manager, and everybody. Without the gym, I don't think it would have been easier for us in any way.